All right, everyone. Welcome back to It's Your World Podcast. Your man Art here, along with Miss Tracey. She came to It's Your World Podcast when we made an event with Drea and Prince from Black in Chicago. I met her then. I met her son, and back then I asked her to if she would like to come back and do a show with us, and here she is. Welcome, Tracey. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Tracey. I am a guest teacher at Chicago Public Schools on the Southeast Side. Mom of 4 sons, 3 grown, 1 little guy. And I just love the kids, love to talk, and just have positive energy. I love to spread that.
Awesome. I was talking to Miss Tracy earlier, and I asked her what would she like to talk about, and she hit it right in the button. It's a subject that I've been waiting to talk to someone as real as her, living in the city, being black, and me being brown. So to transpire to our audience, the shit that's going on in our neighborhoods, what we see on TV, where our kids are going, that they're being out of control, especially her that has 4 kids. So let me ask you a couple questions, Tracey. So you have 4 kids. How are they doing? How did they grow up? How do you view them? Because we got to start by us versus pointing fingers, so to speak.
Okay. Well, my sons are great. Grew up single parent, south side of Chicago, southeast side. Very hard, but my thing with parenting is when you become a parent, that's what you have to do. So my days of going out were very, very limited. I'm totally involved in everything that they did, where they went. I knew parents. You couldn't have any friends unless I knew the parents.
Good.
So I was just all in, but I wasn't like intrusive.
Right.
If I'm saying that right. I wasn't intrusive. They had their freedom, but then they didn't.
But you kept them on track. You kept the eye on the ball.
We went to church. I had them in activities. They were ushers. Just different things that I wanted them to do. And I will say my oldest son graduated high school, top honors. He was National Honor Society, Spanish National Honor Society. Got accepted at UCLA with an academic scholarship and graduated. The rest of my sons graduated high school, top of their class and everything like that. Some went to college. My third one, pandemic hit. Mm-hmm. So, he had to come back home. But, everything. And now I have a 10-year-old as well. So I'm doing that with him as well.
Nice. You feel proud of them, huh?
I am very proud
Great.
of them. I would like to add this as well. None of my sons have seen a jail cell, the back of a police car, or anything like that. And that was I prayed on that.
That's on you, honey. That's on you.
You gotta pray.
I can sort of kind of relate to it. My mom was a single mother. I was not as obedient. I got cracked in my head a few times, but that kind of disciplined me. So I had a choice not to be in the bad side. But nobody's perfect, of course. Mm-hmm. And hurrah for you. I gotta applaud you. So now that you live in the same place that a lot of individuals live in, now I want to say that you can talk because you had 4 boys. I cannot imagine a single mother taking care of 4 grown men now that they are. Mm-hmm. And that has to be mommy and daddy at all times.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my hat goes off to you. So why do you think this generation is not how it used to be? In other words, why do we see on TV? Why do see average kids just doing so many horrible things, like getting on top of cars, hitting on people that are just bystanders, shooting without even looking, no respect for anyone. Before it used to be a nighttime drive-by once in a while. Now it's like they spray bullets everywhere and they don't care anymore. Why do you think that's happening now, especially on where you live, versus way back then?
Well, I can say this, in my opinion, all of the old stuff that everyone forgot about never left. It's still a trail. The crack epidemic.
Correct.
Okay. That caused a lot within the family structure. And it hindered. And they didn't get really help. The traces of the drugs are still in the system. Have you noticed that we have so many kids that are autistic?
Correct.
And the majority are boys,
Mm.
not girls. It's autistic girls, but it's a lot of autistic boys, black and brown.
Mhm.
And I think that trace and trail, it just kept going, and it's still in the
Right.
system. And so you have parents who was not parented,
Correct.
or some parented by their grandparents, and that kept going. That flow kept going, and it's still going to this day. So a lot of kids, they don't have that full upbringing that they need, because you can be a single parent, a single mom, and it can be successful.
Correct.
But if you have like a broken home as far as drugs and things like that, people going to jail, and stuff like that, then where are the lessons coming from? Who are teaching them? So now here we are in 2023, and these are the remnants.
Do you think a lot of parents are giving up at this moment in time, or they want to believe that they're doing just the average job and not doing 100,000% like you did?
Well, I don't think they're giving up, and like my kids were not perfect. I had to put my foot
Yeah.
in their butts, but I don't think they're giving up. It's just like you're working with what you were dealt, the hand that you were dealt.
Correct.
And that's how a lot of them are now.
And that to me is understandable, um, and I do comprehend. But I believe in this moment in time, this conversation would be a conversation that would be okay with not such a drastic system that we're living in. For instance, this conversation I would compare it to maybe gangs, maybe thieves, maybe just a fight here once in a while, drive by. But these kids are literally shooting each other every day.
Mhm.
So if you as a mother live in such a neighborhood, and it goes to everybody, it goes for everybody. If you know the neighborhood kids and you know their parents, and not that you know them personally, but what would you tell them? Because if they, I mean, come on, let's be real.
Mhm.
Those parents know where their kids are. Those parents know at the corner what they're doing.
Mhm.
I I don't live there, but I mean, for me, everything's common sense. I'm pretty sure they don't get out of the house, go chase them down, bring their asses back home, grab them by the ears, and sit them there and make discipline and be a mom and a dad. I think they don't do that as often. Like at least my mom did. She try to look for me in the corner and bring my ass down. So, do you see that, or do you just see the kids where they're at and the parents at home?
Well, I see that they're not going out. See, I'm going out. It's a thing of, do you know where your kids are? Yeah, I know where my kids are.
Mhm.
And you should want to know where your kids are. It could be a thing you don't care, or it could be
They're gonna do what they want
right,
to do. Like a lot of parents say that.
you're overwhelmed, but piggybacking off of what you said with the neighborhood kids, a lot of things have changed.
Yes.
You had Hurricane Katrina
Correct.
come in, so you got different people in different places. You remember how you used to know everybody in your neighborhood?
Yeah.
Now you don't, because you got people coming from everywhere.
Absolutely.
So the whole dynamic has changed, and it just seems like everybody is just trying to get along.
Correct.
Where they are in it, and you got people coming from different states, and they're bringing their gang mentality or whatever mentality where they lived at, that Chicago people don't even know about.
Correct.
So you got kids trying to deal with that, and parents trying to deal with it. It's a lot that goes into it. Parents, to me, they act like they missed out on something.
Correct.
So now you're in competition, it seems like, with your child. My mother didn't have the same hairdo I had. She didn't wear the same clothes I wore. You know what I'm saying? So some of the kids don't even have their own identity. So
where you work is like a school, a teacher, of course. What, in your experience, what do you see, speaking average, issues, problems that you get repetitively coming to you? For instance, you can see the boys, you know household is not good. You know, their gangs are there. You know, guns, drugs. Which one do you see that's a higher percentage that has to be brought to people's attention?
Um, to me, it's anger. It's all of the anger. You got the guns, you got the drugs, and that all ties in. And everybody is
Their
angry.
attitude is just
It's angry,
irate.
right? And that's what you're seeing at home.
Correct.
Your mama arguing. Everybody's on the phone. Everybody loves mess. You got it on TV.
Correct.
The videos, and it's just showing everywhere, and everybody is just.
What do you think
really
that?
angry?
Why do you think that's being triggered? That energy, the anger,
Well, with the kids, to me, you're not getting what you need.
which is
And
what?
discipline.
Correct.
And it doesn't
I
have to
agree.
be a butt whooping. You know, it's just being, you have chores, being told what to do. Some of the kids are uh, grown already. You got to take care of your siblings.
Correct.
You know, because your parents are whatever they're doing. I don't
Mhm.
know what's going on in the household, but, you know, everybody is on selfish page right now.
Oh my God.
It's all about me.
That's right. That's right. So, what would you tell? I don't personally don't blame the youth. I used to want to,
Mhm.
but I think every day I get a little bit more educated by talking to you, different people like you. I'm starting to get a different perspective. And when I started this podcast, I want to really concentrate on the youth, on the kids, and then I had to ask myself throughout discussions with others, no, we can't do that because uh, not that they won't understand or learn, but like you're speaking to me now, I think we have to start disciplining the parents. Start going back to the basics of do your job, be
Mhm.
there for them,
Mhm.
discipline, structure. Most importantly, where you at. They don't like it. There's got to be a punishment behind it.
Mhm.
But there's a saying: tough love is real love. You know,
Exactly.
I don't believe in that. In the give them what you want with
Mhm.
not working for it. I mean, you
Exactly.
got to be rewarded because you're doing great. What do you think
Exactly.
about that?
Well, I believe in that. I believe you. It should. The parents need to be held accountable, just like my mother was. We
Mhm.
had truant officers. If your kids was not coming to school, um, but like I said, everything changed. It's not
Correct.
about the head count anymore of the children being in school. See, that was the thing back then. The kids had to be in school.
Correct.
I don't know how it's going now, but the parents should be held accountable for if your kid is downtown. It's all these cameras now.
Yeah.
You know, you should be held accountable if your kid is messing up in school because you are taken away from another kid learning.
Mhm.
You got to come sit up at the school. It's
Yeah.
not, I got a job. No, you got to get your kid together.
Other teachers
You
told me
know?
that when there's what do you call it, PTA meetings or for the parents, a lot of parents don't show up anymore,
They don't.
and that's the issue I have with that is um, those type of parents are very quickly to point fingers and go after courts or whatever the situation is when their kid gets in a situation that they should not be in. They're jumping out from the line, but yet they don't like the legwork, and we gotta start speaking out and say, look at yourselves. Everything starts by the parents, period. Because if you don't do your job, how do we expect your kids to do the job? And the problem I have with that is I want to live in a society that I can take my daughter downtown. I can take my daughter to the park. I can take her walking around the corner and not worry about somebody stealing her dog or somebody coming out of out of the woods and do some harm to it. And that's tragic. And if we don't do something about it now, I tell my people, imagine how their kids are going to be. So we cannot throw in the towel. We have to at least tell the people straight up how it fucking is. There should be no judgment. And I believe the people that want to judge, bring your ideas to the table. We discuss it. That's how we get a little better understanding of your side of the picture, you know? So
Right.
as you as a teacher, um, have you ever had any kids that you know how I see on TV or shows disrespected you in a matter of in a way that holy shit, where does this kid come from? You know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
drastic. Because I'm hearing a lot of that.
I haven't had any like drastic disrespect, but the kids are off top going to be disrespectful for when you're a sub teacher, a guest teacher, off top. So me, I prepare myself for that. But I come to, and this is why I love being a guest teacher, because I'm not in the politics of the school system, and I can come to them on their level. So one little girl said, "You don't talk like the rest of the teachers," because she called me and I said, "What's up?" And she looked at me and and I'm answering you, and she said, "I like that because now I'm more relatable to the kids." I have a little attitude at first, and it's like, okay, we'll see.
Okay. Okay, good conversation. That works, you say, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it works for me. I don't
For
know
you.
about nobody else.